Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Amit Gupta. I'm the President and CEO of Aeroseal. I want to thank everyone for joining us today to share an exciting news of a launch of a great new system called HomeSeal. It is a result of a year-long R&D effort, and it is specifically designed for residential application. I also wanted to thank everyone to help make Aeroseal a very exciting company in less than 2 years. So without you, it would have been impossible for us to where we are today. We appreciate your support. I'll have Neil Walsh, VP of Sales and Marketing, to go through the presentation, but I'm available to answer any questions throughout this. Thank you again. Neil?
Thank you, Amit. I appreciate it. And again, welcome. Thanks for taking some time today to learn a little bit more about HomeSeal, our new residentially focused product. As you know, over the last couple of years, we've gotten lots of feedback from you about how we could make the Aeroseal system a better product. And we listened. And I think what you're going to find today is a product that really reflects more of what you, our residential dealer base, is looking for in a product. Next slide. Just a sec. Thank you, Vicki. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off by talking a little bit about HomeSeal and how it evolved, what the strategy was behind the product. Then Vicki and Matt are going to spend some time giving us a webcam walkthrough where you get to see the physical design of the product in real life, and they're going to show you how it works. Then I'm going to spend a few minutes going through feature by feature so you've got a better sense of the design of the product and the specific features in it. And then we'll talk about pricing, both of the basic system and accessories, and we'll talk about availability. And finally, we'll open it up for your questions at the end. Well, going back in time a little bit, many of you are Gen 1 dealers or have heard about the Gen 1 product, and that was the first product and was designed in 1999. 2003, we have the current system that we use today, the Gen 2 Smart Seal system. When it was designed as a hybrid product for both the residential and commercial applications. And it's like any hybrid product, it was a compromise between what was required for commercial jobs and what was residential jobs. As Amit said about a year ago, after listening to your feedback, we decided that what we really needed was a residentially focused product. And so after listening to your feedback, we set about to design one that was specifically focused for that market. We had heard from you that you wanted a product that was easier to use, was more robust, and was specifically designed for your needs as a residential contractor. The first thing we did was reduce the complexity. We realized that the number of components that needed to be connected, the number of connections that needed to be made, very intimidating, very complex, and at the end of the day, very time-consuming. The second thing that we did was made it easier to use the product. One of the things we heard from you loud and clear was, hey, you know what, setup time is a barrier. If you can make it easier to set up the Aeroseal system, that's going to take some cost of the business out of it. Also, it's difficult to store the Aeroseal system. There's lots of components, have to be stored, have to be put in the truck in a certain way to get them out efficiently. And we also wanted to reduce some of the field errors, the setup errors in the field. Take some of the components out. We heard from you that, you know what, we get the Aeroseal stuff and there's lots of bits and pieces in there we don't ever use. We said, okay, we're going to go ahead and take those out. And finally, we said, you know what, let's make this product really focused on the residential market. Let's optimize my labor productivity as a residential contractor. And so we did. Okay, what I'd like to do now is to have Matt and Vicki take a few minutes to walk you through the Aeroseal product. I think you saw a photograph of it on the screen, but now we're actually going to go and show you it in real time. Vicki, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Neil and Matt. All right, so there you have it. There is the new HomeSeal system. Matt and I are going to take a quick walkthrough of the new HomeSeal, and then Neil will go over each of the features in more detail later on in the presentation. The first thing that you'll notice is that we have designed HomeSeal to be extremely portable. Everything you need to operate an Aeroseal job is contained inside this box, except for the laptop, the compressor, and the scrubber fan. The unit weighs about 80 pounds total and has a sleek new all-black matte finish. Let's take a look at the outside of the box first. The box has a retractable handle in front for convenience and easy portability. On the back of the unit, there is an additional second fixed handle to help with transporting the machine on stairs or locations where an additional handle might be needed. The unit has 2 fixed directional wheels, so it can be wheeled right up to the job site. During product development, we actually subjected this HomeSeal unit to a mechanical vibration test, and the unit performed with flying colors. Also located on the back of the machine is the PC connection. As you can see, this connection is very sturdy and will not come loose, break, or fall off. One end has a USB connection, and the other end connects right to the HomeSeal unit. The final controls on the back of the unit are the pressure sensors. There are 2 connections for reference pressures and 1 for the blue pressure tube. As you can see, the gate settings are also conveniently marked on the back. Moving on to the front of the machine, we have several connections. Back up just a teeny bit. There we go. First, you can see that we have the compressor connection, and on top of that, there are 3 standard 120-volt power connections on the front of the control panel. Above the power connections are 3 rows of indicators. The three white ones are circuit breakers. Above them are 3 red troubleshooting lights, and then 3 green heater indicator lights. The large white button on the top is the fan speed controller. Of course, the main component on the front of the machine is the newly designed connection collar. Matt is going to demonstrate putting the clamp on the front of the collar so you can see how easily it goes on. There we go. Now we're going to take a look under the lid and see what all is inside the black box. All right. We've got 2 really sturdy connectors that keep the lid closed. And once Matt gets it open, we will take a look at what we've got inside. As I said, everything is conveniently located inside. Starting from the back, we have the filter, the fan, and the pump with single speed control. The sealant jug is conveniently located right next to the fan. Matt's going to pull it out so you can see it. And it's got the tube so you can get it connected right up. The heater cylinder is located towards the front of the box, along with our newly designed wand. Okay. And did you have? And Matt also has the wand out of the machine, so you can see how much smaller it is than the original wand from the machine that you probably have. The wand is in a fixed angle position to make sure that the sealant is delivered properly each time. It's also been designed with 3 notches, making it impossible to install the wand incorrectly. Finally, the heart of the new HomeSeal system is located under a secure panel on the lid. Both the digital manometer and the integrated control board, which Neil will show you later in more detail, are located under this panel. And there you have it, a brief tour of the HomeSeal black box. And now, thank you, Matt, very much for pointing everything out. And now I'm going to turn everything back over to Neil.
Thank you, Vicki. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take a few minutes and kind of go through in a little bit greater detail some of those issues that you had talked about during the demo, the portability, the connections and controls, the pressure sensor locations, the PC connection. We'll talk a little bit more about that single box design and how everything fits together inside it. We'll give you a little bit better view of the wand, and then we'll talk about the internal connections and the integrated controls. As Vicki had said earlier, it's a portable product with a retractable handle. Total, it weighs about 80 pounds. It's a little bit heavier than the fan box today, It's still very doable. It's very easy to move around with one person. You can see in the graphic on the right-hand side, those fixed directional wheels, just like a suitcase, it can be pushed and pulled around on the job site, making it really easy to set it up. As Vicki indicated before, one thing that we've really tried to do is increase the number of display lights on the product. That's going to make it a lot easier for technicians in the field to troubleshoot about what's going on. You can see another thing that we designed in the product is standard grounded power plugs. We heard loud and clear from you that the last thing you needed was more electrical connections with proprietary plugs to work with the Aeroseal machine. So now you can use a standard off-the-shelf extension cord that you've already got in your truck to power the Aeroseal system. On the back, as Matt had showed you earlier and Vicki had talked about, we've got the PC connection as well as our Bluetooth and our reference pressures. Matt showed you that connection to the HomeSeal machine, and that's really neat. That's a proprietary USB cable. You can see it's field rated for usage, so it's going to be very robust. We're not going to worry about it pulling out in the field or disconnecting or breaking after use. Let's take a little bit look at what's inside the case again. We know we've got the gate working from left to right. We've got our gate. We've got our filter. You can see the fan. We've got that pump. That's a single-speed pump. That's one of the big changes between Aeroseal and HomeSeal is that single-speed pump, optimized for residential sealing volumes. Then we've got the wand and finally the heater cylinder, all in one package. As Vicki had mentioned before, on the top left-hand side, you can see a little bit more of a close-up on that anti-backdraft flow design. What that nozzle does is that's where we're going to connect the lay-flat tubing, but also the way that's designed is it minimizes the risk that sealant is going to flow backwards at high pressures from the Aeroseal system in the lay-flat bags back into the heater cylinder. That said, it's a residential unit, so it's not really designed to work at very, very high pressures like 2 and 3 inches of water column that you might see in a commercial application. You can see a photograph of the gate, relatively unchanged, and you can see that injection nozzle and heater cylinder very similar to what we have today. As Vicki said before, one of the things that we had heard loud and clear was design the injection wand so that it slides into place and it correctly fits every time. So you can see it's a key design now. It slides right in, and it lines itself up perfectly every time. And it's shorter. All the connections have been internalized into the box. On the right-hand side, you can see we replaced the bulky umbilical cords with a simple controlling wire harness that doesn't need to be touched. And then we took all of the digital manometer and all the controls that were in the computer case underneath the laptop computer and printer, and we brought them inside the machine and put them under that in the lid. Looking under that lid, you can see on the right-hand side, there's the DG700 digital manometer with the connections for the blue and red tube inputs and outputs. And on the left-hand side, you can see the integrated control board. Now let's talk a little bit about pricing. The equipment is priced at $25,000 normally. We are having an introductory price for the first 90 days of the first 100 systems of $19,900 for a basic system. Talk a little bit more about what that basic system includes in a minute. The accessories are going to be sold separately, and we're going to have an a la carte pricing structure for them, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a la carte pricing in a second. If you looked at an average system price, it's probably going to be somewhere around $28,000 to $32,000 for the basic system plus accessories. The license fee, there will be a change in the license fee for the HomeSeal system. The license fee cost is going to be an additional $69 per home for the for HomeSeal applications. The current equipment remains the same. So if you have an Aeroseal system today, your license fee for your Aeroseal system won't change. So the additional license fee will only be for the HomeSeal system. So what's in that basic HomeSeal box for $24,900? Well, you have the HomeSeal system, you have one filter fan, an air dryer with a hose to connect to the HomeSeal box, 75 feet of blue tube, a 12-inch clamp to connect the lay flat to the HomeSeal box, that PC connection that we talked about, the 14-inch clamp and flange to connect to the duct system, spare parts kit similar to the one you get today, and a software license. What's not included? Well, the laptop and the printer are now accessories that you can purchase separately. Also, if you're a new dealer, sealant and foam blocks come separately. They don't come included in the system. The system comes with one wand. If you wanted a second wand for spare for backup purposes, that's an additional option you can purchase as well. If you're in a market that requires more than one scrubber fan, many of you are, you can purchase a second scrubber fan, and we'll talk about what those look like in a second. And then if you're wanting to use the Y because you're sealing supplies and returns at the same time, then you can purchase that. If you're in a market that you are using smaller connections like a 10-inch flange or a 12-inch flange, those can be purchased separately as well. So these are our options and accessories pages, the scrubber fans and the two choices, either the basic or the upgraded one. I'll show you a little bit more about those options in a second. And the two compressor kits. We heard loud and clear from you that many of you have moved away from using the electrical compressor to a standalone gas compressor because you don't have to plug into household power to run the compressor anymore. So now we offer both choices, either electrical or gas. The basic system doesn't come with supplies, and so we offer a basic supply kit or an upgraded one. And then on the accessory side, if you want to purchase a laptop through us, we have a laptop kit that I'll show you in a second. Now, until the release of our new residential software, we're going to ask that you purchase the laptop kit through us. But after that new software is released in about a month or so, then you'll have the option of either purchasing the laptop through us or providing your own to us. Many of you have also asked us about using generators and specifying generators, and so now we have a generator option that you can purchase. For those of you that go back to Gen 1, you can remember the days when the system was a 220-volt system, and that had pluses and minuses. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like working with 220 volts, but many people liked the idea of being able to have one connection into the system to be able to power the Aeroseal system with one 220-volt connection. And so we now offer an option to be able to do that. For spare wands, the Ys, the flanges that we talked about. Now let me show you a little bit more on those scrubber fans. The standard capacity scrubber fan that we offer today is 1,000 CFM. Many people, especially people that are in hard duct markets where the flanges are primarily in the basements, have told us that they would like to have a larger scrubber fan, one that is able to really deal with the high leakage rates of hard ducts in metal basements. And they wanted a product that potentially could be connected in such a way that the basement could be depressurized and that sealant, rather than migrating out of the duct system into the occupied space, could be pulled into the basement where it can be captured effectively. And so we've done that with a high-capacity scrubber fan. You can see it's twice CFM, and it's got the fan is designed in such a way that it can be used to depressurize an average-sized basement. As I indicated before, the laptop and the printer and the carrying case are now an optional accessory. Unlike today, you'll take the laptop and the printer out of the box, connect them to the system. There won't be built-in connection points in the case. You can get a better sense of the basic and the upgraded supplies. The basic's a little less than what we provide today. The upgrade's quite a bit more. It includes 16 gallons of sealant. Now those gas compressor options, because I know we had a lot of questions in the past about using electric versus gas. You can see the pricing on that. The compressors come with both the adapter fittings, the air hoses to the air dryer, as well as the power cords if you go with the electrical compressor. It's a 5.5 horse gas compressor, and it's 125 PSI for both the gas and the electric. Again, a lot of folks have asked us about generators and the option of buying generators to completely get rid of the need to connect to household power. We offer a generator. It's a 5 kW generator, and you can see the circuit specifications down below. There's that 220 volt converter option that gives you the option to be able to plug into that 220 volt dryer connection and be able to power everything off of that one from a single point. If you wanted a second wand, there's the option for a second wand. And there's those options for the clamps and flanges and the Ys. You'll notice that rather than selling the clamps and flanges as separate items, they're bundled into kits, just making them that much easier for you. If you're going to use the Y, it comes with all the accessories that you need to use the Y. Let's talk a little bit about release dates. We're talking about it now. You're the first to know. The product will be available at the beginning of August, and then after the 1st of August, we'll be going into the marketplace and introducing the market to the HomeSeal product after the 1st of the month. So just to summarize up today, we've talked about a new residential-based system. It's customized. You get a base system and accessory. So you can build whatever you want for specific for your market and for your needs as a contractor. The introductory price is $19,900 for the basic systems, and then add to that and then the license fee dollars is $69 more. So I'm going to open up to questions.
Okay, let's see if we've got any questions. Questions, here we go. Okay, you guys, you can type in questions in the question box down below. Let's see, we've got, okay, the first question is from Steve Tansey. Hi, Steve. And he's asking if he can get a credit for trading in his Gen 2 machine and if he can use his current computer. Would his current computer work if he wanted to hook it up to HomeSeal, I guess is the question.
So, Steve, that's a great question. You're going to need to have one computer per Aeroseal system. And I really haven't given any thoughts about trading your system in. I would suggest you add a second system and double your profits.
Okay, and then we've got from Evan Hallis. Is it possible to use this system for commercial jobs, such as multifamily exhaust?
Great. So this is a residential-only system. It can only be used for single-family houses. So the answer, Evan, is unfortunately not. This is only designed for residential applications.
And then we have Sheldon. He's asking if will there be a compact version of Gen 2?
That's a great question, and we are taking a look at the Gen 2 product, Sheldon, and hopefully over the coming months we'll be working on new products and new ideas and incorporating the ideas of our commercial contractor into a newer version of Aeroseal. So I guess you'll just have to stay tuned and see what the guys back in the lab come up with as far as an upgraded commercial product.
Matt Bell is asking, he says that he is currently using a 10 kilowatt generator. Are the power requirements less for this system?
The power requirements are the same for the current system. So, and that's a great question. The generator is designed to operate everything but the compressor. So the 5.5 kW generator powers the Aeroseal system, and then you would use that in conjunction with a gas-powered compressor.
Okay. I'm not sure who's asking this question, but it says, what is the single-speed pump equal to speed-wise on the old multi-speed pump?
That's a great question. So the pump speed setting is set slightly higher than the lowest pump speed that we have today. So if pump speed 4 is our lowest setting, it's set somewhere between pump speed 4 and 3.
Okay. Yeah, that was Robert that was asking that.
Thanks, Rob.
Is there an expiration date to providing service and parts to the current Aeroseal Gen 2 market? Will Gen 2 be phased out?
That's a great question. We have no intention of phasing the Gen 2 system out. For many customers who are doing both commercial and residential applications, and for those that are simply focused on the commercial market, the Gen 2 Aeroseal system is still going to be on the market.
Will the new increased license fee be for a 2-system home? Will that cover, the one fee cover?
The additional $69 will include, just like the license fee today, it'll be up to 2 systems per home.
Okay, we've covered that, the single speed of the fan. What is the cost of the HomeSeal box, no accessories?
The introductory price of the HomeSeal box without accessories is $19,900. The normal price of it after the first 90-day window will be $24,900.
Okay, we've got Jerry Cassidy. He is asking, how much time do you believe that this system will save us versus Gen 2?
In field trial work, where we did over 100 seals in the field with actual Aeroseal contractors, the average labor savings for the HomeSeal system was over an hour in setup time.
Okay, they're still asking about the fan. Is it the same fan that is included as Gen 2?
The fan is the same fan in Gen 2 as the Gen 2 system. It's got the same kilowatt per consumption. It's got the same static flow rates and the same pressures.
Okay. What is the difference in cleanup time?
That's a great question, Pat. Cleanup time is going to be about the same. You're still going to need to clean up the nozzle tip, and the process is going to be the same. Breakdown, obviously, is going to be a lot faster because now you're only going to have one suitcase-sized Aeroseal system to disconnect the lay flat, disconnect the power, and then wheel it back into the truck.
Are there any improvements to how quickly it can do a pre- and post-seal test? Dan Kogan is asking. The Gen 2 system sometimes has to search for a long time to get to 25 PA and run the test.
That's a great question, Dan. And what I'm going to do is say, at this point in time, no. But as you heard earlier, we're getting ready to release some new software, and we have some exciting news on that front that we'll be sharing with you in the coming weeks.
Okay. Cleanup time. Can the laptop from Gen 2 work on the new system?
One laptop per system. So you're going to have a dedicated laptop for each Aeroseal system.
Has there been testing as to the time reduction in the use of he called it Gen 3, HomeSeal, as compared to Gen 2? I think we just covered that, right?
Setup time is about an hour faster. Sealing time will be about the same as you're using today.
Okay. And let's see, I don't see. Oh, here we go. Currently, the Gen 2 system requires 3 feet of tubing between the wand and the box, then 8 feet of tubing before we get to the furnace. Does this system still require 8 feet?
This system
but
still
save 3 feet.
This system still requires 8 foot of lay flat tubing from the box to the furnace connection.
Yeah, you just don't have the 3 feet. Do we have any questions from anyone else? Okay. Has the software been modified at all?
No, it's the same software that we're using today, but as I indicated before, we're going to have some exciting news on some upgraded software for you in the next month or so.
It says, will HomeSeal be sold to non-contractors in areas? I'm not sure what that means. Will HomeSeal be sold to non-Aeroseal contractors in areas?
We will be marketing HomeSeal just the way we market Aeroseal today.
Oh, in areas where dealers are protected, I guess.
We will market HomeSeal the way we market Aeroseal today. So as we talk to people in the market, as we talk about the number of systems we're going to have in a market, all of that will remain the same.
Okay, Matt Bell has a good question. He's saying, since this is an integrated system, how would repair parts be handled? Would we have to replace the whole system if, say, the heater or the pump breaks?
Similar to what you're doing today, if we can repair or field repair an individual component, we will. If not, it's relatively easy to bundle the product up and have it shipped back. One of the nice things about the product's design is because it's unitized, if you bundle the product up and get it back to us in the factory guys don't have to worry about interconnectivity. They've got the whole system in front of them, and they can quickly diagnose what the issue is.
And they're just Ian Harris is asking, why has the license fee been increased on the new system?
So that's a great question, and it was based on some feedback that we had gotten from contractors in the field that wanted a low entry price on the system and felt like they could pass along a slightly higher license fee to the contractors. So we made the decision to really get the cost of the equipment down as low as we could at $24,900 and add in additional $69 license fee because that could be passed along as a variable cost to consumers.
Mike Bianco is asking if there are any software modifications planned to be able to do pre-leak tests as a standalone service.
Yes, Mike, that's part of the software changes that we're making.
And then Steve was questioning the cost of the box again. His audio went out, but you just reiterated the $24,900 for the basic box. How is the extendable handle used if it's carried by 2 people?
The extendable handle, like a suitcase with the wheels in the extendable handle, you can use it like a wheeled suitcase. If you want to have a second person help set up the system, then you've got handles in both the front and the back. But the idea was to be able to easily set up the box and be able to carry it in, get it put into position and set up with a single person.
Yeah, I think you probably wouldn't want to hold it with the handles extended out, though, right?
Yeah.
You probably want to put it. Okay. Anybody else? Oops, wait. I think I've got one. Oops, it says starting to ask. Okay. How many people can do a job with the new system? I'm not sure what that means.
That's a great question. By unitizing the setup of the system, it's a little bit easier for a one-person job. Setup time has been up part of it should be a lot easier for one person.
The no trade-in amount for Gen 2. Oh, we talked about that already, the Gen 2 for Pat. Do we have any additional questions? Okay, we're looking through the question list. phone. Is everyone hopefully
Welcome
everyone's
to
still there?
GoToWebinar, web events made easy.
Okay, is everyone still there? Hopefully, yep, we've got everybody.
That looks like all our questions for
Robert,
today.
children, any thoughts on requiring calibration on the units? Increasingly, we're starting to do code work. We are starting to do code work. I don't know.
That's a great question. What we'll do is we'll send out the Aeroseal system is self-calibrating, and we'll send out a quick email to you to talk about why the Aeroseal system is easily calibrated and self-calibrating.
Okay, I don't see any further questions at the moment.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If we've missed one of your questions, you can certainly give me a call at 503-899-7622 or email me at neal.walsh@aeroseal.com, or better yet, contact your territory manager and they can help you get any additional questions you may have about the Aeroseal system answered. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.